What's up everyone, welcome back to another video. So it's not often that we get something out of the ordinary. Today we'll take a look at the Diamond Avalon Linear Switches sent over by Avalon Keys. Avalon Keys is a new vendor, and as with any new venture, there's sure to be growing pains, but if you look around, I'm sure you'll start to see vendors in your regions carrying these switches not too far in the future. Anyway, if you like what you see, check them out using the link in the description below. Moving away from the traditional MX style switch structure, the Diamond Avalons feature a symmetrical princess cut diamond style top housing and a bottom housing that looks similar to an MX style switch, but we'll get into that later. Both the bottom and top housings are made of a blended nylon. And I'm using these terms loosely, but we have an octagonal octahedron style palm stem instead of your traditional four-sided rectangular cuboid style stem. And from what I can tell, it's got a typical 21mm single stage spring, and they seem to come with a little bit of factory lubing. So what does this mean in terms of switch performance then? That's a tough one. I can only present what I've observed, and what I've seen or felt might not be the same as your experience. Straight up, these switches are louder, but the delivery of this loudness sounds different. It's as if the MX style switches have a more condensed sound, whereas these diamonds have a more dispersed and a wider sound delivery. Imagine the water from a water gun, and then imagine water from your barber or hairdresser from that little squirt bottle. It's like the extra space within the diamonds gives them just a little bit more resonance due to the cavernous nature of the top housing. Another thing with the top housing in the diamonds is the difference in material thickness, as you'll see in this picture, especially in the north side of the switch, which sits just above the switch leaf. The stem rail guides are also only on the top housing and are not present on the bottom housing at all, leaving a lot of empty space in the bottom housing. Whether all these factors play a part is hard to say until we can do a comparison with more of these diamond style switches. Now, with the octahedral type stem with the extra edges, you'd expect there to be an increase in stem wobble, as the chances of tolerance issues might pretty much have now doubled compared to your typical MX stem. And yes, there is wobble, but it's not bad really. I mean, I think they've done a really good job in mitigating this issue. In hand, it's pretty obvious, but once you've got them in a board with keycaps on, they're perfectly fine. All in all, these Diamond Avalons are smooth stock and are perfectly fine to use as is. However, there is some leaf scratch. Lubing these switches tightens and cleans up the sound profile, which is what I would describe as a mid-high clack. They're not as high as other recent examples like the HMX Hyacinth or the Gold Polar Yang Linears, but definitely higher pitched than, say, a Geon Black. So it's good to see some innovation happening in the keyboard switch space, and these Diamond Avalon sound and feel like a good first attempt. It would be interesting to see what could happen with maybe a thicker plastic in the top housing. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.